I need the dark. Without you here I would never see the stars. I'm headed for you, foot on the gas. I'm coming straight at you, no looking back.
Good evening, everyone on the APAC server. Tonight I'll be following the professionals tournament knockout stage, the upper and lower bracket first round. So, if you have no idea what you're going to be watching, because a lot of you probably don't, as there are already more than 600 people waiting for the awards to begin. This is a double elimination format. It's played in the best of 7 series, with the grand final being in the best of 9 series. There are 4 teams in this bracket, and the team that loses 2 rounds will exit the tournament. However, they will go away with quite something, because they are guaranteed at least a monetary prize pool. The 4th place will receive 2,000 US dollars, which is per team, not per player. So they're definitely playing for a higher prize pool. But if they exit tonight, they will at least receive some money, which is good. If you think about it. And they fought really hard to this stage, so you have to give a lot of congratulations and praise to the teams we have tonight. I'm adamant you're going to be seeing extremely exciting and high quality battles, and do enjoy with some popcorn next to you. Well, anyway, this is the timeline of the spring season, the Blitz Master Spring. We're currently in the final stage, which is the 18th to the 20th, so 2 more days and the entire season will be over. Do we miss this season? Probably yes. So this is the bracket. I'll be following Risk versus Nomad, and then we will follow the lower bracket first round. XAFK will be following GB versus ID, and of course some of you might be speaking in another language which is very rarely spoken on the APAC server, but if it happens to be the case, then go over and take a watch Ice Shot stream, as he will be streaming in Russian. But anyway, the upper bracket first round, the maps are Tessa Sands, Middleburg, Canal, and New Bay, and then an hour and 10 minutes later, we'll have Oasis Palms, Faust, Winter Novka, and Hellas. Mabox has made the following predictions. They have predicted for a win of GB 4-3, but last time ID won 4-1, which is a convincing victory. So now this time, the odds are much closer. But to my surprise, Risk versus Nomad is predicted to go heavily favoring Risk. This is heavily favoring Risk 4-0. I don't know if this is actually the right scoreline, but if you check back the history of these two teams playing against one another, you might actually think this is probably going to be the scoreline, because Nomad have struggled a lot against Risk. I think last time when they faced one another, Risk just won 4-0 again, 4-0 as well. So let's hope this is not going to be the scoreline. Nomad really grew into the season, well, especially in the last 2 days of the group stage. So Nomad will put up a really good fight against Risk. I don't think the scoreline is going to be this big. And Risk certainly lost a little bit of steam going into the final day of the professionals tournament. They lost to EVG 3-4. However, that wasn't enough to send EVG to the final stage. But Risk needs to be careful in sleepwalking to the 4th place, which is entirely possible. Nomad is also the first team which has entered to the top 4 stage. Well, no. Nomad also entered the top 4 stage for their very first time in their clan history. And because of this record, if they go on to win the entire season, this is probably the first team which wins the entire season during their first top 4 during their debut in the top 4 stage. So Nomad can break a lot of records if they win the entire season, but we will see if that happens. So this is the power rating. you could say, I mean, after the Challengers Tournament, SBZ, the winners of the Challengers Tournament, are now in the 6th place. Which actually makes sense if you think about it, because SVZ have won all of their games in the Challengers Tournament. The closest would be winning 4-3 against NEMAD, and a lot of them are pretty big margins, so it makes sense for them to be in the top 8, but they're actually pretty close to EPG. However, they sadly did not qualify to the top 8 on the very last day, despite finishing first in the group. And you can see this runner-up, Arsok in the 11th place. So essentially, we only have the top 4 changing. Nomad could drop below EPG if they actually got eliminated in the upper lower bracket first round. However, if it's by a really small margin, then they might still be above EVG, but we'll see if that's the case. The low echelon championship winner UX didn't advance to the top 16, but then they've lost some of the games. Some of the games on their way. I think one to Saltner, another one to Go. So also makes sense why they are not ahead of UQ. So the top 16 actually this season is essentially the top 16 in the power rating. But anyway, I think the most important part for you will be to get rewards for the stream. So I think the rewards, the timer should have started. So go ahead and get to the portal to get your rewards before you miss out the prizes. So the rewards will go on for around like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I will be analyzing some games from time to time, and hopefully that will give me enough time, give you enough time to get all the rewards. But most importantly, you must enable targeting cookies. Otherwise, you will only see a grey screen in the portal, and you will not get any rewards if you are only seeing a grey screen. And obviously, you must log in to your game account on the right server, which is the APAC server. If you log in through your EU account or the NA account, you aren't going to be seeing the portal page, and you aren't going to receive your rewards, and those rewards will not be accrued to your EU or NA account. So make sure you have the APAC account to watch the stream, and make sure you watch the stream on the website, on the official Wargaming website, not on YouTube. Wargaming will not know you're watching on YouTube, on the YouTube page, and will not give you the rewards in that sense. So make sure watch the stream on the portal. And now I will go to the room very quickly. Hi Nico. Oh, Nico from TQT. How are you? I definitely know you from TQT. You're the captain of the team. If I don't know you from TQT, despite streaming you like on 2 of the days, then yeah, I'll probably have to resign as a commentator. But I definitely know you as the captain of the TQT team. If not the captain of the TQT team, maybe the symbolic captain of the TQT team, because you are actually registered as the captain of the TQT team in the end. But I definitely know you're the captain of the team without any surprises. So let's see about Desert Sands. I don't know if we have actually gone to the map pool. Yeah, only Nomad is only Nomad is well, Nomad is the only Japanese team in the top 8 alpha. You're right about that. I mean, you're from our end, definitely, you know. We do have a collapse of the Japanese clan, we'll say. Previously, we even had like 3 Japanese clans in the top 8, I believe, if I remember correctly. But now we only have Nomad here. This is the first time since 2022 spring. Was 2022 winter? Forgot. Which is actually some time. And I think 2022 winter, if I remember correctly. But we'll go to this battle. And during that season, GRS was only in the top 8. And Nomad are in the top 4 stage, which is going to represent Japanese, and I really hope that they're going to show us some really good ones. They're going to take 6 2 T110E5s, really peculiar setup. They will have a lot of reactive armor. I mean, they can drop a lot of reactive armor. They also have decent armor, but not the most decent armor. If they play on flat ground, then it's not that hard to penetrate. But I will assume the DPM of Risk will be quite low at the start, and starts to gradually increase as they lose all of their reactive armor. Spectre drop the reactive armor. Nav Silver needs to get out of the situation here, because he is now down to 647 hit points. And now Nomad is focusing on to Not So Juicy, and he can't really pull back at this point. So he's going to be the first tank down. Hit points are in huge favor of Nomad, and Not So Juicy puts another one on the Spectre. And we are seeing the first tank down. Another good shot on the Spectre. I thought there was an Emmerach there, but it was not an Emmerach. On the other hand, the city side, Nomad have more hit points. Mandalorian and F-Silver. F-Silver needs to run away, but then Risk, can they hold on to this? They have now got Bandit hit point pool lead, but the T110E5s have now come in from behind. They really need to get Spectre out of the way, and they do. Well aware it's out of the fight. And the next time they're going for probably will be TDR. Lisa still with a lot of hit points. They have to come in now, because Nomad do not have a lot of trouble fighting in focus. Well aware is now out of the fight in the T110E3. Hit points are neck and neck still. But Risk will be looking for Cocoa or Resistor. And Lisa really needs to connect with Milkshake, because Milkshake's now the focus of Nomad. It's now 4 versus 4. Mind Notes instead. Resistor is now dead. It's now a 5 versus 3. So things are looking on the up for Risk, as Mandalorian is still really healthy now. Focuses on Cocoa. And it's going to be the case. Nomad only have 2 tanks left here. F-Silver, great shot to Kazuya. Kazuya, unfortunately, will be the last tank alive, probably. Milkshake is now down. So we now have a 4 versus 2 situation. These are still with full health. Although it could have been atrocious if Nomad were a little bit more active in the focus fire. But it will not be the case. Risk. They will take down X4, and it will bring Kazuya finally the last person standing. Thank you, Nico, for the great words. Kazuya is the first. It's down. Okay, you cannot get the rewards. You have to wait until you hit the mark on the timer, and even then you have to wait for a couple of hours or even days for Wargaming to give you the rewards manually, I think. Yes, Nomad is Japanese. Yes, Nomad, they are Japanese. If you can also hear my sound and my energy levels a little bit low today, it's because I'm still recovering from the cold, which I had the worst in the last couple of days. And in the stream, you might hear me cough from time to time, and some... is this called snorting? I forgot the term for that, but yeah. But you could see some noise of me battling through my cold. But anyway, I digress. We have Risk, 5 tanks doing more than 2k, and Nomad, 3 tanks doing more than 2k. I think the main problem of Nomad is they didn't push through. After they have a bright start with the T110E5s, they led by more than 1k hit points at one point. But they really, but they hesitated a lot. They didn't push through for some reason. They would have been able to kill a couple of tanks with Risk and out DPM them, especially when they have the reactive armor. They really didn't put that to good use, to be honest with you. It's not that the lineup is not working. I don't think the lineup is not working if they are a little bit more aggressive here. But they stopped in the push, and this is definitely not good for them. So sorry. So Risk gets the advantage here at the beginning, and oh my god. So sorry. So sorry. Now I'm going to close the poll, and you're saying Risk will win. 75% of you say Risk will win. So let's see if this is going to be the case. Risk. In that sense, 1-0 to Risk so far. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm pretty much just streaming while I'm sick, which is why I'm not assigned to stream the EU server tonight. As you all might know, there is no link to my to the EU stream on my channel. Well, actually, this is not the exact reason. It's just because there are too many EU streamers. But Nino will be following the top 4 stage exclusively for the first time. I believe exclusively means he's not going to restream from another YouTube streamer. But look at Reap. Gets absolutely shut down while going through this bush to spots, and he's now down to 1 shot. Essentially, that's a light tank out of the way for Norma, which is not a bright start. I think he stayed there for way too long. But Risk will try to get B, but they will not get the cap first because Norma will get A before Risk will get B. But it's not going to be a big deal because Risk will get C in the end. And Risk is going to get a little bit more aggressive, but X4 will be there to prevent Risk from taking good positions to shut down the Super Conquerors. So Risk will now get C, and they will now have the cap lead, and also they have the hit point pool lead. But their decision is to push through, and they found X4 isolated, and I think this could be a good choice from Risk. They can push on, can get those tanks out of the way. So X4 is now the focus for Risk, with Nomad now looking for Mandalorian. It's all about the effective DPM and shot efficiency. If they could get the tanks out first, Nomad will have the advantage, and likewise for Risk as well. But it seems Risk will get X4 first. Oh, actually Mandalorian dies first, and it's actually even Stevens. Lisa is now pretty low, so the hit points are now necking their F-Silver, looking to do 1v1 against Mine no sense. So, oh, Lisa now dead from the crossfire of Nomad. This will be big. Risk, can they continue to do a great job? And now Sugar Mugu gets a little bit distracted, takes 2 shots from Nomad, and puts a bait one onto Kazuya, but he's pretty much down. Sugar gets killed by Spectre. Now Risk gets Kokwa out of the way. That's a big tank out of the fight. F-Silver is out of the fight, so that means Risk 3 versus 5. This is going to be a difficult battle for Risk because they have to kill 5 tanks, and Nomad are sharing the hit points pretty nicely. So I think it all goes haywire to Risk as they were caught in the crossfire of Nomad, and Nomad did really well in the crossfire in the mid-game stage, and I think that will be enough to give them the win this time. And good shots onto Milkshake, but we could see we're dropping the reactive armor. Not in the right moment, I would say. And I don't think he wants to push deep into the Super Conquerors either. Nomad, even if they can't kill all 3 tanks, they will win by caps unless Risk are able to kill a double Super Conquerors as they push. But it will be extremely difficult for them to do so. Mine, no sense, is focused for Risk, but maybe not the focus for Risk. They are looking for TDR instead. It's a tank down, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Nomad got all 3 caps, and I think this is all they need to win this battle. And they did. Nomad bring 1 back. The scoreline is 1-1. Both teams are now heading to the next map. Yeah, I did catch a code alpha, yes, and it was yeah, it was not the best moment. Yeah, so you really could hear me just not be in the best in the best circumstance. But anyway, Risk 3 tanks to more than 2k, Nomad 5 tanks to more than 2k. The crossfire in the mid game stage is so crucial. It essentially gives them the win. Risk, on the other hand, I think there were some confusions and they were not really doing crossfire. And they have tanks spread out from at different positions. And I mean, Nomad, the crossfire really helped them to bring them over the line. And now we're going to Middelburg. It's 1-1. and we don't know the scoreline of Shivi versus ID yet. No, I couldn't be bored. I couldn't check the stream of XAFK right now because I'm focusing on streaming this. Oh dear, that's unhygienic, Nico. Why would you blow your nose in front of the other people? Come on. If you're considerate enough, just wear a mask. Well, I mean, in the US, for some reason, there is stigma around wearing the mask, which I really don't understand. But if you're sick, just wear a mask. Come on. You don't want to transmit the disease to thousands of people. But I digress. Let's go to Middelburg. This is going to be a bit different, but it's going to be a lot more tactical. The base, it's much more cap oriented, so we could see some really clever moves from both teams in getting the caps and doing the cap play and forcing the other to make a rotation because they don't have the caps. But one thing for sure, if you get cap lead on AB, then pray for the best because you're facing against a top 4 team, and they definitely know how to react to a cap. Definitely know how to rotate through the hills to the AB side. So if I were a top 4 team, I probably won't get a cap lead on AB. It's going to be difficult to hold that. But Nomad will get B right at the beginning, and they will get the cap lead with a double strip case. However, Holland in the IS4 might be able to spot the strip case. Pulling back. Oh, Holland. Good shot there, but has he overcommitted here? Cocoa bounced, and Holland dropped the... Oh! What the heck has happened here? X4 got shot at by a lot. Oh my god, wrist focus fire. No, crossfire. We're doing their full-time job. Look at this. Great stuff from Riz. They've taken down Cocoa, but unfortunately Holland's going to be the focus for Nomad, but it doesn't really matter at this point because they have Riz have already killed 2 times compared to Nomad with only 1 very soon. And Nomad, they might lose TGR next. And the 60 TP are now going to relocate to support the team near B. And Riz have found Spectre completely isolated. I don't know why he's staying there, because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Mandalorian is now down. It's now 5 versus 5. Actually, the hit points are still in huge favor of Riz, and the 60p's full hit points are now coming in. If one of them gets ammo rack, things will change completely. But TDR gets killed, and Milkshake will now look for Kazuya, or maybe not. But this is definitely the game for Risk. Really good crossfire coming from the spawn, and F Silver puts a good shot on the Spectre. It's not a big shot, but it's good. Well aware now brawling with Nob, but he might put a shot on Spectre instead, and it's the case. Well, we're down to 1 shot, and Spectre will not last for long. Air Silver gets a kill here, but Nomad gets 2 caps, but it's not going to help them anyway, unless Risk just keep bouncing their shots, allowing Nomad to win by caps, but it's not going to happen, is it? Well aware bounces onto Nutreed, and Nutreed's down. Mindos and Cell. This is a thrashing by Risk, to be honest with you. That crossfire from Risk from the spawn seals the deal for them, and the 60p just have to come in to help the team in the push, and it's already a win for them. Great job to Risk. They've definitely studied how to win this battle. I don't know if they've watched the streams of Nomad playing of Middelburg, but Nomad, those strip Ks got just got evaporated when they are getting out of B. It's not the issue of the strip Ks, not the escape route they've taken, which is bad. It's just that Risk are totally ready for this move to happen. It's falling right into the way that Risk have predicted to be. So Risk 5 times 2 more than 2k. It was a great win for Risk. 2-1 now, and that will give them a boost in confidence coming to the next battle of Middelburg. Am I okay? Yes, I think I'm okay. Hello, Liberty. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, well, it's a bit better than the last 2 days where I can't stop my where my nose is really runny. Today is a little bit better. I'm not rushing to the toilet to get some toilet to stop my runniness. Yes. I'm feeling a little better now. Thanks, Alpha, for asking. But Nomad, yes, triple supercons, an IS4, double IS7, and strip K at the risk going for triple BK. A 200 LT, a Crown Bug, and a 6TB and an IS7. So, sorry about that. We're going back to Middelburg now. I completely missed that crossfire from the 6TB. I should have predicted that earlier. But that could only work in a strip case. It's a strip case that retreating to the exact same route. If they don't retreat to that route, then no, that crossfire would not have happened. Now Risk will put a little bit more tanks to the AB side. They're setting 3 VKs there. Oh, Kazuya gets absolutely shot at right at the beginning. F Silver in the T1 LT2 all the spotting. And Resistor getting extremely aggressive now. Takes a big one. And they're not allowing Risk to get B. And 2 shots have bounced onto Milkshake. Milkshake will look to put a big one to Resistor. But TDL shields Resistor well. And Resistor gets a bounce here. Where coming in from behind. Now it's 2v2 over here. At the same time, the double VKs are holding off the 2 tanks of Nomad. So the all boils down to this fight here, 2v2. But there's also Suga Mugu coming in to join the fight here. Resistor is now down, and we are seeing Kazuya also down. So it's now a 7 versus 5 situation. Milkshake and Where they're looking for TDL now. X4 trying to support the team, but I don't think that will be good. And Nomad will focus the attention onto Holland and also Mandalorian, so if they can clear the 2 BKs quickly, that would be a close one, but I don't think so. It's now a 7 versus 4 situation. X4 is now the focus for Risk, and Risk can now support the VKs. Holland is now dead, but Mandalorian should be safe for now, as the rest of the team will be coming in to support Mandalorian. Spectre down, X4 down. Kokua is now down to a 2-shot, and Lisa will fire a good round over to Kokua, and F Silver ram into Kokua, killing Kokua in the process. That brings Mindo Sands the last person standing, and this will bring the scoreline to a 3-1 for Risk. What a fight. What a game for Risk. This is even more convincing. I think Nomad just kind of pushed through at the start and failed to connect with one another. Those 2 tanks over to B just did not have the support from the team needed, and Nomad just felt, I mean, for me, just felt completely disorganized. I think they had an idea, but it wasn't well executed at all. It just felt fragmented, and Risk was able to just coordinate just 2 main areas to focus on. And it was kind of a simple thing for them, a simple idea for them. Just focus on one area, and for the area, their main objective is to hold and not lose too many hit points. And this kind of simple idea just was enough for them to get them the win. It wasn't like the most difficult thing for Risk to do. Nomad needs to stay calm now. I think they are losing their cool a little bit. They looked increasingly fermented in the last 2 battles, and they really need to show up their pushes on Canal. Canal is even more cap oriented. Oh my god. I forgot to update the scoreboard. I will be back for a moment. Which is not nice, because no, not this. Come on. There we go. I hope this is going to be working. I'm just going to check. on my screen. Apologies for the scoreboard malfunctioning for a bit. Yes, it's looking right now. So you're seeing the right scoreline 3-1. I was using the wrong wrong bracket. That shows me Norma in the lower bracket first round already, and they're fighting a team in the lower bracket first round. That's not the case. It's a best of 7 series. So now Risk on the match points 3-1, and Nomad pressure is mounting on them. Can they make a comeback? We will find out now. F-Silver T100 LT spotting nothing. That will give them some information as to where the Nomad's tanks are going to. I think with Risk committing most of their forces over to D and B now, that will send information of, to them that Nomad going mostly for A and C, which is probably where they're going here. And also Juicy getting really aggressive in the IS-7, but we'll keep those T110 E5 spotted, and look at the crossfire coming from Risk. A lot of shots coming from there, and Mayim No Signs takes another one now, down to 1,000 hit points, but Horland gets shot at by a lot too. And Nomad will try to get A, but maybe not. Well, actually they do. Not is going for A. So Mandalorian is now trying to get X4 out of the fight. Maybe not. Oh, but X4 gets a couple of big shots. Oh my god. He keeps getting farmed. Oh, and he's down. Oh, it's down. Oh, the FE405 Whirlwind did an amazing job clipping out X4. Whirlwind says he did not fail the push. You did not fail the push. You got a tank out. Minos is now down. This is now a dire situation for Nomad to come back from. I mean, they're now down by more than 2,000 hit points, and now, I mean, you could also say my innocence is very low, so essentially they only have 5 tanks on the battlefield. Risk still with 7. Although they have a cap advantage potentially, as they have captured both A and C. So it actually means Risk have to make a push, but it will not be difficult for Risk to get a couple more tanks out of the way. Horland is going to do what we want, and he will have reinforcements from Milkshake and Sugar Mugu. Horland would just try to retreat for a little bit, trying to give some false sense to Nomad that they might have the numerical advantage. But now they have spotted Milkshake and Sugar Mugu. They are trying to go in to get Spectre out of the fight. Can they do this? Milkshake and Sugar Mugu will get Spectre out of the way very quickly. And they do. Sugar Mugu will get Spectre, and Horland is now really low too, so he has to stay really safe. Spectre is out of the fight, but at the same time, Kazuya is also out of the fight, so that means C is up for grabs, and they will get the cap, obviously. And there's also the double T110 E57 from the rest of the team. Mayim No Sense and Nob will try to get B, but it's not going to help them a lot because they will lose the double T110 E5s. DDR is dead, and Coco will not last for very long, as the focus of Risk is now coming to Cocoa. Cocoa will be down. Nope is also out of the fight, and Rhino Sense is sent directly to the garage, which means Risk have qualified to the upper bracket final, and they will find out which clan they will meet. Nomad, on the other hand, they will be sent to the lower bracket first round, and we will see which clan they will meet next. But Nomad, I think they completely fell apart after the crossfire to the Strift case, and since then they didn't look the same. They didn't look like the same team that they were in the first 2 battles. Sorry, Risk was just a league above them, and Nomad, they have a lot of questions to answer. And I hope they will play better in the lower bracket first round, because I saw their games against Team ID and they were very clinical, and they really found targets to focus, and they were a lot more decisive. And today, I think Risk was just being the more tactical team, and they did do very well when the maps are getting increasingly cap oriented. And Risk, they should feel very happy about this victory, and they're still in the running to defend their title. So 4-1 to Risk, and yeah, let's find out the scoreline of GB versus Team ID. Do we have a result? Oh, they're still playing, so we're going to wait here. Pirate says they don't even have any strategy. I think they do have a strategy, but it's more like that their strategy... they have a strategy at the beginning, but it's not the way they predicted. And they look a little bit clueless as to what to do when their strategy doesn't seem to be working. But then there is also another situation that they've lost way too many hit points at the beginning. So with Nomad dropping down to the lower bracket first round, GB versus ID, do we know results from... we will know the result from them soon. But yes... let me update the scoreline. GB versus ID. Risk versus Nomad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me fix this. Let me fix this for a while. The bracket, it's again malfunctioning. Okay, let's see if it's going to work this time. Yes, it's working. So you can now see next. Oh, they love their E5s, obviously. Yes, Liberty love their E5s. Is IS7 better than E5? Probably, because IS7 have the better armor. Well, you never know, because Risk took the unusual way to reset them, actually. Or maybe not. Well, maybe yes. Actually, well, yeah. They were in position. Even if you take the IS7, they can still reset them. I think they were not taking the positions that you expect. I mean, in Nomad's position to bounce a couple and get some bounces. But yeah, Risk versus Nomad, great win for Risk. And well, we have some time to analyze the battles. Let's see. I'm going to set up the scene for that. So, we're not looking at this. We're looking at this.
What if you could do SEO smarter?
You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear that. I'm going to mute this for now. You're not going to hear it. Not going to hear this ad. Okay. Yes. Now I need to get the things sorted, and then we can start analyzing. Let's go for the first battle on Desert Suns, because there is a lot to analyze, I would say. We can see how Nomad can do a lot better with the E5 strategy. Okay. Oh, there we go. And I can stream, get this here. Okay, there we go. Risk versus Nomad. Alright, let's see this battle. Let's analyze this battle. Risk versus Nomad over here, and let me change the screen. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's do this. We still have like 40 more minutes to go, so there is still a lot of time. We will do some. I will check the scoreline for GB vs ID next. That they're going to show us some really good ones. They're going to take Sax 2 for T110 E5s. Really peculiar setup. They will have. I think the difference between F server and I think there is a T100 LT spotting in this bush is that this is probably a little bit safer because you have this kind of depression going on. But then for this bush you have this kind of arch, which could mean the tanks in the city side will be able to crossfire into this area and not into this area. So maybe this is why sometimes you might want to take this bush to spot tanks in the city side. But there is also the advantage of spotting using this bush, okay? Which is going to give you an overview of the tanks crossing to the desert side. So if you have tanks positioned to the near your spawn, you might be able to crossfire into the tanks crossing into the desert side. But as you can see, for the second battle of Nomad, risks aren't going to cross there. So that is going to be a scenario not happening, and you will have to react to that. But let's focus back onto this battle here. Yeah. Wrong tanks, probably yes. But wrong strategy. More like they haven't got a plan B for their strategy. I mean, you will have to know that it's very difficult to have your plan go according to what you think will happen. The top 4 teams will definitely react to what is happening during the battle and react to that. The initial strategy will not always work, and you can see EU teams really responding to that when their strategy is not working at the start, and they recuperate and they kind of have a plan B. And I don't think normal we are seeing that plan B here. And let's continue to see what happened here. A lot of reactive armor. I mean, they can drop a lot of reactive armor. So I mean, now Risk, they have 2 tanks there spotted. I don't think Nomad have spotted anyone crossing, so essentially they are playing 5 versus 5. They might know there are 5 tanks near the town side, but at the same time, it's an E3 at the back, so it's going to be a hard one to tackle. But if you are able to make a good push, then that does not have a lot. That tank does not have a lot of hit points. So if you could get that tank out quickly, then that would be huge. Let's see what's going to happen here, because you don't know what to do in this situation. They also have decent armor, but not the most decent armor. If they play on flat ground, then it's not that hard to penetrate. But I will assume. Okay, so in this situation, it's 5 versus 5 over here. Resistor is sitting at the back, so can they really push onto the M4s? Maybe not, because they're just playing for the brawl. What they could do, they can hold off a little bit, but they are on the flat ground as well, so they don't really have a lot of ground so high. They can use this building to side scrape. Wait for X4 to try and come from the side to try and put shots here. I think this is exactly what they're going to do next, and you can see very soon. The DPM of Risk will be... Oh yeah, and also Spectre coming from here, but Spectre will be in a lot of trouble though. You can also see that from the minimap, there are like 2 tanks of Risk sitting there, so essentially you can just crossfire. So Spectre can't really do much from the other side, so really X1 have lots of responsibility. Quite low at the start. And Conceal still stay in the back, which I really don't know why, but then they have the kind of like the consumable that increases the accuracy, I believe. If I remember correctly, I can't remember that. But I wouldn't have put that the 2 heavy tanks from behind. They don't have the rear range as well, but at least they will prevent the medium tanks from flanking from behind. I think that's the main purpose here. That starts to gradually increase as they lose all their reactive armor. Spectre drop the reactive armor. Nav Silver needs to get out of the situation here. Okay, so Spectre really using this building to side scrape and these buildings to prevent getting crossfires from his front. But I think this is the opportunity for Nomad to focus fire. The Hippos are still very close though, but if they could catch the MLEs quickly, then they could do really well. But TDR is not really focusing Not So Juicy, which is not the most ideal. But at least a shot is a shot. Not So Juicy is quite low, so Nomad might have the advantage of the city side, and that depends. And those heavy tanks at the back will keep the medium tanks near A in check, so that they aren't able to flank from behind. But essentially, they are bringing this brawl to a 5v5, so it all depends on the focus fire from either team and also the hit point pool sharing. Yeah, because he is now down to 647 hit points. And with Resistor coming from behind too, that's just going to mean Juicy is going to go down very quickly. So this is going to give them the numerical advantage that they really have to make use of. And now Nomad is focusing on to Not So Juicy, and he can't really pull back at this point. So he's going to be the first tank down. Hit points are in huge favor of Nomad, and Not So Juicy. Okay, so good start for Nomad. They got the MLE down. And now 4v5. They don't have a lot of hit points actually. They might have the edge with the DPM. Nomad, they have dropped a couple of reactive armor. I don't think X4 dropped the reactive armor though. So I think what will happen next is that X4 will get a bit more aggressive, trying to bait a couple of shots when he push and try to see if they can kind of get Fusion out of the way next. Those heavy tanks will still keep the medium and light tanks at bay, which is going to become very important in the mid to late game stages. Although that essentially means 2 tanks out of the running, but they had a numerical advantage over the city side. They really don't need those heavy tanks to support actually, unless they struggle tremendously there. There's another one on the Spectre, and we're seeing the first tank down. Another good shot on the Spectre. Yeah, shot that Spectre should not have received here. There was an ammo rack there, but it was not an ammo rack. On the other hand, the city side, Nomad have more hit points. Okay, so Mynos is coming to flank from behind, which might not be the right time to go for that. The issue is that Kranvagn does not have a lot of mobility. The DPM's really low. So if my Innocence is able to, if my Innocence comes in to flank from behind, Kazuya is going to be in deep trouble. And if I were Nomad, I would not send Kazuya there. I would send my Innocence to do the rotation instead and keep those medium tanks and light tanks distracted. Or simply don't do the rotation. They have the numerical advantage over the city side. It's not that difficult for them to clear the remaining 4 tanks. Let's see what's going to happen next. Mandalorian and F-Silver needs to run away, but I think the issue here for Nomad now is those tanks here keep on dropping hit points, which is not nice. And X4 isn't really doing much. He still has like 4 health. He really needs to start coming in. But yeah, take some hits from the 215B by all means. But those 3 tanks are going to lose a shed load of hit points if X4 is not doing much, and Risk will find a breakthrough here. Then Risk, can they hold on to this? They have now got back the hit point pool lead, but the T110E5s have now come in from behind. They really need to... Okay, essentially it's all about focus fire from Nomad here, but they now lost a tank, but they still have 5 tanks in the desert, in the city side. So all they need is really quality focus fire and get those tanks out of the way. It's kind of a training for Nomad to do the stuff. And Himbo's still very close though. Get Spectre out of the way, and they do. Well aware it's out of the fight. And the next time they're going for probably will... But in this situation, Nomad are not really focus firing. And X4 a lot of hit points. Really can't stay in the back for long. He really needs to start doing something to kind of share hit points with the failing T110E5s. Will be TDR. Lisa still with a lot of hit points. They have to come in now because Nomad do not have a lot of trouble fighting in focus. Okay, so it's good that Nomad have taken out the E3, which is good, but then Risk F-Silver have now come in. I think this is essentially what I say about the Kranvagn. He can't hold up 2 tanks alone, especially with Kranvagn that does not have lots of mobility. So I love that the light tanks and the medium tanks of Risk have now try to stay out of sight of Kranwagen, so the Kranwagen will be pretty much useless in that situation, and they're going to try to support the team. Well, is now out of the fight in the T110U3. Hit points are neck and neck still, but Risk will be looking for Kokua or Resistor, and Lisa really needs to connect with Milkshake, because Milkshake's now the focus of Nomads. Now 4 versus 4. My notes instead. Resistor is now dead. Okay, so I see at this moment in time, Nomad have lost the fight. Risk, I think they have just a lot better focus fire in this situation, and those tanks in the city side held on really well. Main pro Nomad X4 weren't able to share away the hit points. Kazuya in the Kranwagen got really useless in the desert. You really don't want that tank to stay there. That tank does not have DPM. I don't think that tank has free range either. Well, that tank could capture A, but it's not going to give. It's not going to make a lot of difference anyway. So I think the two main mistakes would be X4 not aggressive enough. The second, having Kazuya to stay in the desert side, not the T110D5. The Kranwagen would have surprised and would have initiated a group push from Nomad. I think this is a situation that Nomad could definitely win in, but those two major mistakes really cost them the fight and cost them the battle. And Risk, they held on really nicely and really nicely, and I mean Risk held on really nicely, and they definitely have a better focus fire agenda. And I think this is what brought them over the line. I think there is a lot to learn from Nomad. Maybe they need to be more aware of the weaknesses of some of the tanks, and share the hit points a bit better, and also say conserve the hit points a bit better, because they can certainly do it if they can certainly do it if they are a little bit more aggressive with those tanks with more hit points and communicate their ideas a little bit better. Because essentially, I don't think this lineup does not work. In the right circumstances, they can definitely get the win here, but it's not meant to be. Right. So let's see the results of GB versus ID. Hello everyone. I can see Lego here. Yeah, we do have like more than 40 at one point. Oh, GB 143 against Team ID. So we will see Nomad versus ID in the lower bracket first round. So GB will face Risk in the upper bracket final. And yeah, we now have our results. So, there we go. We now have our next matchup. ID versus Nomad, and you... Okay. And we will ask Thomas Peterson. No, that's for the EU server. Mabox for the betting odds, not betting odds. The odds for the lower bracket first round. We'll find out very soon. Let me just get the results in. But yeah, I'm afraid APAC is a bit on it slow at the moment, which is why some people from the EU server are complaining about the level of gameplay. We do lost a lot of raid clans this season, sadly. But I hope the likes of RNGRS and also although quite unlikely, P1 back because these clans were very strong in the autumn season. But you have to give credits to Nomad though. They have come really far since the autumn season. Last year autumn season, I think they were even worse than what we're seeing tonight. And I mean tonight, this season they've improved their focus bar a lot, and also their pushes. Although tonight's the battle against Risk, I think they weren't really back to their best form this season, but I hope they will be better. The lower bracket first round, we will see. But they definitely improved a lot, so I'm just going to keep on encourage them to do that. Hopefully, they will come back even stronger in the summer season, because why not? I hope they will do well in the lower bracket first round. But yeah, I've got the results of the upper bracket first round registered to the power rating. We will now see the predictions of ID versus Nomad. Oh, we have a prediction here. And ID is predicted to win. Nomad, I will give you the prediction very quickly. But first, let me just say this. Then provide that. No, I should not be having this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to post the D. Yours. For the lower bracket first round, and we can see. Oh, because we still have time. I think we will go for the. We'll go for the last battle of Risk versus Nomad. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I'm going to show you the screen. So, Madboss has made the following prediction. ID to win 4-3. Although it's a tiebreaker, we'll see if it's a tiebreaker. But yeah, Nomad, can they pull off this? Okay, pull this off. Tonight, their performance is not on par to what they were in the last 2 days of the in the group stage, but now things could change. Well, I mean, Nomad certainly deserves to be in the top 4 this season. They've beaten ID and also GB. Both of these are currently in the top 4, so you can't say they don't deserve top 4. Oh, yeah, they lost to Risk and EBG, but if you bring EBG into the fray, actually, if you check all the results of Risk, ID, GB, Nomad, and EBG head-to-head, all 5 clans won 2 rounds head-to-head, and lost the other 2. So no difference. You can't say Nomad is not are not top 4 worthy. You can make the same argument to the other 4 clans. Well, I hope the scene that the clan will see is going to revive for the APAC server. It saddens me a lot to see how far they've fallen in terms of competition. 2021 was very competitive, and now, yeah, this season was a bit of a low. But I'm sure we will be back to where we were in the autumn season. Maybe summer is going to be a bit better, but I can't really see how it's going to get better from there unless, as I said, those 3 clans come back. But yeah. Let's go back. But on the upside, we do have a couple of good clients coming. Couple of new clients coming through the ranks. But yeah, we do have more old clans dropping out than new clans coming in. Yeah, so the situation is a bit dire at the moment, which I will fully admit I'm not going to kind of sugarcoat things. Yeah. Okay. Oh, but while we are waiting for the next, for the lower bracket first round, let's take a look at the bracket for the EU server and the NA server. The EU server, we will have Rejects versus APA, and also Endgame versus ARWV. Rejects versus APA, that is going to be streamed by Fujit tonight, and also Robert in Spanish. Fujit will stream in English, obviously. And neither will follow Endgame vs Aqua alongside Pyroblast. Pyroblast will stream in Ukrainian. Well, he's from Ukraine, but the language is said to be Russian. Well, someone has to clarify that for me, whether it's Ukrainian or Russian. But one thing for sure, iShot is streaming in Russian, but he will not be assigned to be the spectator of any bracket. So he's going to pick the bracket of his own choice. The upper bracket first round, I don't know, but it does appear to me that both of these brackets are equally competitive. Let's put it this way. How about the NA server? Thank you to was that the new logo from APAC? I believe so. Let me just see. Yeah, it's a new logo from APAC. Thank you for sending me that new client logo of APAC. We will have X Origin versus Apex, and that will be followed by 34. Robert will be following Jokers versus SLG. He will be following in Spanish as well. I don't know. I can't remember. I think this is the first time SLG are in the top 4 stage, and I feel very happy for them. But yes, this is the top 4 stage for the NA server, and yeah, we have all the brackets covered. Okay, let's go back to this bracket here. Yeah, as I said, but then if you think about that, essentially there are only 3 clans that deserve to be here, and there is a 4th spot left open. Well, EVG actually played really well against Ritz, so let's put it this way. But if they are on tilt, they can be as bad as they are against Insert. So I don't know what you will call the serving team, because essentially it's either EVG or Nomad. But yeah. But I have to be really careful about how I describe teams, because if I just say they're bad, they will be coming for me. Yeah, they will be coming for me, and I don't think Wargaming wants me to say they are bad. No, unless Rina is talking to me. I don't think Rina is talking to Peng Muffins. In this situation. But yes, I have to be really careful about describing teams. Well, I can't be as like blunt as what Lego would be saying, like, because you can say, but all of these teams here are terrible. You can say that if you're from the EU7 and have played in the competitive here, you can say all 4 teams are terrible. Well, nothing is going to stop you from saying this, but I can't say that on stream, because all of the 4, the whole APAC server will rally against me if I say all 4 teams are terrible, and I'm not going to instigate a war. No, that is definitely not the plan here. I mean, I mean, it's not like it's not like they don't know the basics of the Clan Wars scene. I mean, XAFK, the streamer tonight, he was streaming GB versus ID. He was in the P1 clan or the E7 clan or GSM, I forgot. And you can hear his commentary. He has a lot of jargon with the Clan Wars, and he definitely knows his stuff. So you can't say APAC doesn't know anything about Clan Wars. They definitely know something. Go watch XAFK stream. You know what I'm talking about. He definitely knows his stuff. And as well, I mean, XAFK is one of the founders of the Clan Wars Asia Discord server, and I really enjoy and I really like that the server. It's kind of a good server to chill with top Clan Wars players, and I think this server really brings the APAC Clan Wars teams together, in a really good way, to be honest with you. So I hope this will continue. And at the same time, can we have another season of Clan Wars Asia tournament, please? I totally agree with you, Angry Toast. Remember, Nomad won against GB and ID in the group stage. So if they so I totally agree with what Angry Toast says. If they made it this far, then they that means they have at least done something right, and they do. Go watch the stream of XFK Nomad versus ID. You will know that Nomad didn't win by luck there. They win by good focus fire and decisive pushes. So they are not a total washout. And I wouldn't say they are bad. They just have they are just in the bad form today against Risk. Let's put it this way: the last 3 battles, not really what we saw with Nomad. Yeah, it's just not really them, to be perfectly honest. So I totally agree with Angry Toast in the chat here. But yeah. Yeah, I've been going on. I've been rambling on too much. I was meant to do another analysis, but I don't think we have time now. We only have around 12 minutes to go. But I will first see if we have a room in about a minute later. I'm going to draw some containers. No, I'm definitely not lucky against Team ID. XFK would agree with me on that. They are not lucky in beating Team ID. They fought hard for that victory. Even Team ID were not at their best this season. So yeah. I wouldn't say Nomad are lucky. I mean, EVG also missed out in the top 4. And do I think they don't deserve to be there? No, I do think when they are playing really well, they deserve to be there. At the end of the day, they've beaten Risk in the very last PYS. On the very last day of the final stage, which puts them really close to the top 4. And it's but we are definitely. But one thing I agree with Pink Puffins, the APAC server is definitely at its least competitive season, and I really hope this is going to improve in the next one. Now this is something I can agree on. Not going to sugarcoat this season as comparatively competitive season. It's well, objectively that's not, but yeah. Yeah, Lego, but yeah, I can agree with that, Lego. It can be quite difficult to watch at times. So Lego, you have a great point here, but I don't think I will be getting a room here, so I can play battle with Strip. I don't have to wait for 3 minutes. Yeah, it's a lack of competition. Yes, probably this season. Yes, lack of competition might be a reason. And I really hope that could improve. Well, actually, no, not really a random battle. I think Nomad did play well in the second battle against Risk. The Crossfire did the job for them, but we do see glimpses of Nomad's best in the second battle. It's not random. It's just the last 3 battles. I think that Crossfire on Middleburg just put them on a downward spiral, and they couldn't recover since. Well, teams can go until even the best team on the EU server can go until, and suddenly it looks like they don't know how to play Clan Wars. It is a psychology. It is a common psychology to overcome, a common thing to overcome for the top Clan Wars teams. So this is why the best teams on the EU server don't seem to last for long when well even if they're until they doesn't seem to last for long. Sorry, I want to go pass through this and take the mid aside. It will be difficult, but yeah. Ooh, KV2 is there. I just have to be really careful. Oh no, Crusader! No! Please don't! Look, KV2 is going to push on. No, the line of fire is not there, but why would you want to do that? Going out in the open. KV1 has a lot of armor. I'm just going to stay here, not do much. And a good shot there. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Sorry about that. Bye. And I don't like that I can get I'll get killed by one shot in the KV2. I just have to make sure I don't have the room. I just forgot I'm playing on the APAC server, and I forgot that I can't peek a boom, essentially. Everyone's being critical about the APAC teams tonight. And yeah, the reason why APAC have like 30 teams is because we don't have pop teams. We don't have enough pop teams. Players in general are not interested in tournaments. Except for the very few competitive players. Well, that is unfortunately the truth of the truth of the situation. Well, nothing much you can do when you don't have a lot of pop teams. EU server just a hell lot more pop teams to play, and I mean there are a lot more competitive teams too. Well, I don't say that in 2 years ago when the number of competitive teams are relatively close, but this season, I mean, even a team in top 32 could have some really good fundamentals with Clan Wars, so on. I mean, the likes of Crayon are not even in the final stage, should already say something about the competitiveness on the EU server, to be honest with you. Sorry to use Crayon as an example, but I mean, I use them as an example because Crayon is it's a good team with seasoned players. They definitely know how to. They definitely know the basics of Clan Wars. Oh, we won that game. Good. Thank you. No, Miguel. It's no. Nomad is not Newt clan. You're wrong. You're wrong. I don't think he played in Nomad team, as far as I am aware. He might be in the clan, but he does not play in the tournament team, and Nomad is entirely Japanese. So maybe he got into the clan because he kind of backed them to do so. So that it looks like he's a good player, but I don't think he's playing in this team. Someone from Nomad can confirm confirm this statement. I don't think Lieutenant is playing in the Nomad's team. So I don't think I don't think it's correct, Miguel. I don't have any replays. I don't have any replays. I might have just rambled way too long. And the reason I seldom do master replays is that I usually hop back and forth from a stream, so you will not hear any sound from the replays. So, which is fine. But I just talk too much in the lounge anyway. But I apologize for that new gameplay in the Strip K. Not the Strip K, but not the tank. It was I just was a bit too greedy in putting a shot onto KB1, and I just completely forgot I can't do peekaboo there. All right. I think any server is, well, they have more than 32 teams, that's for sure. A little bit more top teams. Maybe in terms of the number of competitive teams, they also have a little bit more too. Certainly, I don't think the numbers are near as many as it were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think any server reached like 50-ish teams at one point in previous skill tournament. I don't think we saw that number ever since this year so far. But NA is slightly better, although not the best. Yeah, EU server is just a lot more competitive, obviously with the with a lot of CIS players migrating to the EU server. You understand why. But we focus on the lower bracket first round. Professionals tournament, ID versus Nomad. ID will go for T1 LT, and IS4 T1 10E5 and MLE, and IS7 a double Strip K. On the other hand, we're saying Nomad, double IS7, double Kron, double Super Conqueror, and a 60 TP. Let's see what will happen here, but again, for goodness sake, take a light tank on Oasis Palms. Well, I mean, some EU clans don't take a light tank, but for goodness sake, you really want that light tank to get the information and spots. With this lineup, it's very likely they're going for AB. I don't see anywhere else they want to go. C is just a bit too open for these tanks, although the Super Conqueror will be good held down, but they would definitely be outsported and crossfired if they go to the desert side. So they will try to get aggressive there. So that's one thing. And ID would try to be a bit more defensive over to the AB side. They're not taking a Griller though, but they can absolutely do. That Griller can put a lot of DPM to whoever is crossing, getting aggressive into the AB side, and this is why Raid won against TQT. On Oasis Palms. So, sorry to TQT for using that as an example, because that kind of stuck in my mind. It was kind of stuck in my mind. Well, the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to a Griller play. And yeah, I would actually be alright if ID takes a Griller here. Although they are from the north spawn this time. And Nomad. What would they do? Let's find out now. Yeah. Oasis Babs. Let me just I forgot to crit. Oh, I'm just gonna do a poll real quick. Uh, so that you can now vote. Hank, you might have to prepare for that. They've beaten ID before. 4-2 the scoreline it was. So, let's see if Nomad can do this. Campan in the Team 100 LT. Okay, Liberty, thank you very much. Oh, good shot from Campan onto Spectre. Okay, that's a good start, but I don't know if Campan can run away from this, but look at how many spots Campan have got to team for ID. X4, I don't know if you should get that aggressive, but at the same time, if ID decides to push onto X4, tanks of Nomad can quickly rotate and support the team. So, what will ID do here? They do not have the cap lead, but they do have the map control potentially with the camper getting all those important spots. X4 takes another hit. I think he should not leave where he is. That position should be safe from any crossfire from ID. So with Nomad not really able to push from anywhere, and they have 3 tanks in the desert side, 4 tanks of ID near C. Hinter trying to get some spots on A, but not any tanks being spotted. ID not really connected with one another at the moment, but things could change. Well, we're going to see a big push coming from ID. Another good shot to X4. X4 has to stop driving out of where he is. Oh, Campo takes a hit. Has to stay in cover for now. And I think ID just have to be a bit more patient. I think they could still put a couple more shots in. But now Nomad's trying to go for A, and maybe they go for B as well. And now Fresh Lemonade is now committing his tank over to X4, but he will be met with resistance. Kazuya is there to put Crossfire in. But X4 is now down to 1 shot. Kazuya might be able to put 1 shot or 2. Good shot from Kazuya, and maybe able to put another shot in. It's a bounce, sadly. Fresh Lemonade gets a kill, and X4 is down. And Fresh Lemonade gets 2 bounces. Oh, a big shot coming from Cocoa onto Fresh Lemonade. It's not enough to kill Fresh Lemonade, but will be enough to put him to a 1 shot for Rienica. Bounces onto Mako. And Fresh Lemonade is now 6v6. And ID do not have the hit point pool advantage, and now Nomad is going to push on to Hinter. And Hinter is now in deep trouble. ID has to be quick in killing the tanks near the desert side. And it's all down to the shot efficiency here. The focus is now on to TDR. The Hinter is going to retreat. And the hit points are still in favor of Nomad. But the focus fire, I think ID has the lead. Hinter is dead. TDR is dead. Focus is now on to Mako. And Paul Rienica is trying to put a shot onto Spectre. Camper now very, very low. Good shot onto Spectre, but can he survive? It's frozen. Good shot onto Spectre, and Camper will get a kill. Mako dead. It's now 3 versus 5. However, ID have lost both A and B. Now, Nomad just have to survive with the 3 tanks. Mimos are still really healthy. Good shot onto Florienica. Florienica now have to hold down in the slope here. Now, Spartan Sword tries to brawl 1v1 against Kazuya, but Nomad will try and find Florienica here. Good shot to Frozen, and Camper will get C. I think ID is trying to do what they could, but do they have too few hit points to win? Oh, good shot onto Kazuya. Great track shot. And that brings the fight to a 5 versus 2. However, ID aren't able to get C, and there is still a lifeline for Nomad here to get the win. But Cocoa is now down to 1 shot. And Cocoa puts a big shot. Oh, Spartan Sword bounces. Florienica gets the kill. It's now a 4 versus 1. And I think Florienica can try and get A, and Spartan Sword will get B. If my aim knows is able to get a couple of kills on the way, that will be brilliant. But is it going to be the case? Let's follow the Golira now. This is going to be really close. But ID had the numerical advantage, not Nomad. Nomad, my nose is going to be quite slow in that Kramwagen, but I think the Golera might have gone the wrong way. Takes a hit from my nose, dropping the speed boost. Now the speed boost out of the running. But really, a great shot of my nose is a very far away position now. The Golera is going to run around in circles with my nose sense, looking for the Golera. Now both A and B are captured by ID. That puts a stop to Nomad's cap increase. And can they get C as well? Do they still have time though? 2 minutes left to go. Mido says might be able to kill the Golera, and that would be the case. Oh, 1 minute and 45 more seconds to go. Essentially 3 one-shots for Team ID. Are they trying to put more shots in? Are they trying to... Okay, this is going to get really tense. If Mido says is able to get C, I think that could be over for ID. Or maybe not. Can ID overtake Nomad in the caps? Nino says is now spotted Plorielica. Oh, he has to hope that he would have been spotted and be able to put a shot onto Nino sense. Now, let's see about this. Plorielica. Nino sense is now unspotted again, so it relies on Campun to spot him up. Now, Nino sense is spotted again, so Plorielica, can he get a shot in? I think he has the line of sight for that. Ooh. Good shots from Plorielica. Campon spotted. Spartan sword spotted. Misses by no sense. But ID will overtake Nomad and Campons now. Only 45 more seconds to go. This is getting really tense. But ID have overtaken Nomad and Caps. And ID all they need to do is to survive. Because Minos is trying all they could. All his best to get a kill here. But Minos is now down to one-shot camp and now drops down to get back to safety. Minos is going for Plorielica. But ID will get a win here with 2 caps. Compared to Nomad with only 1. Minos tries his best, but Nomad simply loses too many tanks. The focus fire of ID is a bit better than Nomad, although it's not too far off from Nomad as they were able to bleed ID a lot and put them at a continuous hit point pool disadvantage. And they could have won it. They could have won it actually if they're able to kill those low hit point pool targets, but they are unable to do so. And ID barely manages to grind out a win, bring them to a 1-0 scoreline. And Nomad, they haven't been able to win. They haven't been able to grind out a win here, but they were very close. 5 tanks doing more than 2k for Nomad and 4 tanks doing more than 2k for Team ID. And we're back on Oasis Pubs. Let me get okay. Hopefully the scoreline will be correct. Not really. Not really. I think the good teams just show. I think the good teams just kind of exacerbated Nomad's weaknesses, but I'm 100% sure Nomad can win the EU Pubs. 100% sure. This is something I can guarantee. They were not that bad, really. They're not that bad. Yeah. I can guarantee that. 100%. Now ID and Nomad will change their lineup. Nomad will take double 60 TPs, quadruple T110D5 to strip Ks, with ID going for double Super Conquerors. A T110D5, a strip K and MLE, an IS4 and a VK going back to Oasis Pubs. Let's see what both teams are going to do here. Okay, so Team ID, blue team from the south spawn, and Nomad red team from the north spawn. This time we could see, ooh, ID putting most of the tanks over to the city side. And they have no light tank. Oh no. But Nomad do not have light tank too. But Campbell was very instrumental in the last win, so I don't know why they dropped that. Anyway, Nomads, they have Kazuya in the Team 185, Mako in the Team 185, spotted. As for Team ID, when they get A cap right at the beginning, they do. Nomad is playing this one very defensively, or maybe they don't. The Team 185's down the ditch are trying to push through. But I'm not sure if it's going to be a worthy push. Because look at what's happening here. Is that the T125s are on the low ground, and Florianica, sitting deep in this trench here, might be able to surprise the T125s. C is captured. Team ID have A. I'm afraid this move from the T125s and Nomad will not work. Let's see if it's going to... But they haven't spotted Florianica so far. Oh, Florianica spotted, Kazuya spotted. Now, good shot from Florianica. Will reload, and after he reloads, he might do 1v1 against Kazuya, and that could potentially be a tank down for Nomad's side. But Florianica is playing safe here, which is understandable. He doesn't want to get caught in crossfire, so he's trying to be playing patiently. Now ID will get B at the same time, but question is, can they get B without getting shot at by a lot of tanks coming from Nomad, the crossfire? Can they deal with Campo? So I love that ID is playing this one patiently so that they could wear Nomad down hit points, even though they have the hit points, cap points, they could push at the later time to seal the win. But Hinta is dropping a couple hit points here. Hit points is still in favor of ID, but they still have to lead more than Nomad if they want to push in the late game stages. Looking at Camp in the VK. Oh. He tries to push on Spectre, but it's a bit too difficult because it's just a tiny little amount of turret poking out. So, ID have already dropped quite some hit points while trying to bleed Nomad, and Nomad might have found an opportunity to push through, and ID potentially are in trouble. I think ID would have to play really safe now. However, they have slowed down the velocity of Nomad's push. Now Exo should not keep on pushing because he's now down to 2-shot, and if he keeps on pushing, ID will get that tank out of the way. But we completely missed Nomad taking that fresh Laminate here. This is a bait kill, but Mako is out, and we could potentially see ID taking out Exo as well. 2 tanks still in favor of ID, and they have now more than 900 cap points. And they really need to take out more tanks out of the way, but they share the hit points really nicely. We'll see 1v1 over here. Let's follow this for a moment. Kazuya versus Florianica, 1 versus 1. Florianica puts a good shot onto Kazuya, and Kazuya, can he get a couple more shots in? It's a bounce, sadly. Florianica potentially would get a hit in. He's waiting a little bit, trying to be very safe, absolutely sure about the shot. TDR is dead, but it's already game over. ID, still with the cap lead, AB captured was enough to bring them the win, although they were struggling with conserving hit points in the mid-game stages, but it wasn't enough to propel Nomad to a comeback. And there we go, ID. It was another topsy-turvy gameplay, but they got a win. That's what matters to what matters them the most. 2 tanks doing more than 2k, and Team ID 4 tanks doing more than 2k. I think Nomad weren't able to pick up particular targets to focus on. You can see how close the hit points of Team ID are. You can see that they are doing good hit point pool sharing. It's now a 2-0 victory for Team ID. Looking very decent for Team ID at the moment. I think Miguel, or is it Gaseo? I remember you. He is from Akba Although, unless they change, or maybe Zerd does not like Miguel anymore and kicks him out of Aqua. I was pretty sure Miguel is in Aqua. Please correct me if I'm wrong on this, or maybe I remembered the wrong Miguel. So, let's say about this. ID currently leading 2-0. We're on Faust. Nomad. Wake up! Wake up! They haven't been firing all gears here. I hope that we hope that they're going to be back soon, but they aren't really at their top of their form tonight. ID blue team from the north spawn. They're going to send the tanks to C and Nomad. They will be sending the tanks over to A, so both teams go in different ways. So it's all about cat play this time. Porenka will get C, and we will see Spectre Nomad trying to hold down there, but Nomad again not taking a light time. But it's Faust, which is somewhat more understandable, but still have preferred a light time. C is captured, so ID have the cap lead. Oh, La Galera actually is in the medium attack, so this is going to be crucial. Spotted Mind No Sense. Oh, good blind fire. Blind shot from Mind No Sense. La Galera takes a hit there. Kazuya takes a hit. A bit of careless mistake there from Kazuya. A has been captured, but that does not bring Nomad the cap lead, as they only have one cap compared to ID. Also with one cap, ID just have to believe Nomad a little bit more and try to steal D, but it's going to be really difficult. But they are dropping hit points. They have to stop bleeding, because that is not going to bode well for them in the mid to late game stages. Orielica down to 1,164 hit points. Frozen and the AMX MLE. And there we go. So we will see something here. Both of these tanks are doing hold down. Oh, La Galera takes a big one. I think this is a good chance for Nomad to step up. Camper. Oh, I don't know. I don't think this 1v1 is going to work. Now he's going to draw the entire Nomad team to Camper, and I think the rest of the team of ID needs to respond to that. Otherwise, Camper is a goner. 2 tanks at the back. For Relica, unfortunately, I don't know if he can do much at the back, but if ID can prevent Nomad from pushing onto Camper, then that would be big. And Nomad, again, hesitation is coming to haunt them hard. That was a good opportunity for them to just take out Camper and be on a numerical advantage. And they still have a hit point pool advantage though. But they are starting to look a little bit hesitant, and ID, now they have the reinforcements to Camper and they can't push now. This is not a good time to push. The Spartan Sword and LDS are totally ready, and we have Frozen out of the way, so actually Nomad have a numerical advantage, and now ID are now tentatively trying to get a push in, but they are also hesitating a little bit. The hit points are still in favor of Nomad. This is going to be a hard push. Oh, that was a double miss from Team ID. Good shot on the Spectre from LDS, but both teams aren't having an agenda in the focus fire at the moment. But Camper is now out of the fight. It's now a 7 versus 5, and TDR looks to put a big shot onto Spartans alongside by No Sense. One of them bounced. Coco is dead. Like Golera is dead. It's 5 versus 4. Hitpoints are still neck and neck for some reason. Nomad aren't able to increase the lead. But LD is now coming in to try and get a big one on Survivor since it was a big one, but the reactive armor is going to absorb some hitpoints. LD is now dead. Nomad have complete control over to their spawn. Mako down to one shot. Hinter still really healthy now. Hinter, will allow Mako to drop down. And Mako, both of them lost so many hit points in the drop. And I think this is going to see the deal for Nomad. Nomad will get the win unless I are able to get another cap. My no sense will get C, and Plorianic is still sniping in this position. Not much he could do in this here. But Nomad will be able to grind out a win. C is captured, and Hinter is a one-shot. Plorianica takes one from Casio. I think it's all over for ID. I think ID was just way too disconnected. Nomad, despite the hesitation, they weren't punished for that hesitation, and it was a great win for Nomad. They brought one back, bringing the scoreline to a 1-2. Oh, you're ugly markets. Okay. I thought you are the Miguel from as in Gaseo Jones, so I might have remembered you wrongly. So you might have been the other Miguel. So Nomad 5 times more than 2k and ID 4 times more than 2k. It was so chaotic, but simply ID just was way too disconnected compared to Nomad with a bit more connection, and also be a bit better with the brawls in general. I think that is kind of the slight advantage they have over ID. ID just, they really need to shore up in the next one because that doesn't look good enough. Now 2-1 lead. And let me just close the poll now. Okay, you're saying ID will win 69% of you. So let's see if it will be the case with this matchup. ID still leading, but I think they might be on a run of that form. And all that, I think this is going to give them some confidence. I think they need a springboard to put themselves back to where they were supposed to be. Is the super concurrent armor maybe? Maybe. But we will say we're back on Faust. So ID blue team from the south spawn with Nomad red team from the north spawn. Let's look at Campon in the T100 LT. He's going to get a spot. I love it. I love Campon taking this tank. Yes, a T100 LT. This is going to be good. Drop the 4202. Although EU teams do sometimes love a 4202. Especially nowadays when the Shrift K is becoming the meta. Kazuya is spotted coming from this area now. This is an aggressive spot. The Galera is going to keep him at bay, and Camper will drive into D, giving ID the cap lead. Meanwhile, Frozen getting aggressive. Maybe not that aggressive actually, but ID will get a cap lead on D, and not bad. They are. They're not getting A even. How? Why? Why would you not get A? And you're going to push into a 5v5. You sure about this move, Norma? I don't know. Maybe this is good. This is a move that could work, because what happens now is that ID tanks might be isolated, and Nomad are looking for LDS. Focus fire is on for Nomad, but it's actually Spectre that gets killed first. LDS is now dead, and Spartan Sword and Frozen are looking for X4. Hint and Boreanica are looking for TDR. Golera and also Campo. Oh, they are looking for X4 all together, which is good. They want a bit of focus fire. Want to have a big advantage in the numbers. X4 is dead. Hinter is now down to 1 shot. Those 2 tanks of ID are holding up really well, but I think this brawl will go in favor of Team ID, as they are now having a tank advantage here, and this is going to be important. Spartan Sword is quite low, but Minor Sense, that is not going to kill Spartan Sword by any means. Minor Sense is now dead. It's now a 3 versus 5 situation. Boreanica down to a 1-shot. Golera is out of the fight. But Cassia is also very low. Boreanica, could he put another shot onto Mako? Nope, he puts a shot onto Coco, which is understandable because he can't put a shot onto Mako in this location. Camper now 1v1 against Cassia. I think he will win this one. And good shot from Cassia onto Campon. And we're going to be seeing Cassia out of the fight. That brings the situation to a 2 versus 3. Nomad aren't out of this yet, actually. But I think now it is going to be out of the fight, because I need a focus fire coming in to get Mako, which is crucial. That essentially seals them the win, and brings them to a match point 3-1 to ID and Nomad. Despite decent focus fire, they are putting themselves in a difficult situation because they are doing a 5-5 and they are not really having a numerical advantage. And ID responded to that immediately, and what happens is that they got really good focus fire and good crossfire as well. So I love what they did here. And now it's 3-1 to ID. 3 tanks do more than 2k for Nomad, and 5 tanks do more than 2k for ID. I think Nomad are running out of ideas in this battle, and I think the next one is going to matter a lot. Whether Nomad are able to make a comeback or not will depend on this battle, on Winter Marinovka. In this battle on Winter Marinovka. Let's find out now what both he's going to do. When Miguel says, the other Miguel says Jones are going to go back to the original team for the summer season, Axel saying they aren't. Because, yeah, I mean, the original team, they have a couple of players that are currently in Alpha that are in the original team of Jones, but they're not. But they are not making a comeback. But they are going to be back in the summer season for sure. I think after the force majeure situation, they're back. They're more united together as a whole, which is good. And I really hope that they will do very well. And it's not good to make that joke about forgetting to register again, because it's not really his fault. It's not his fault at all that he forgot to register. He isn't able to register in the first place. So not nice to make that joke. And Romeo says not to make that joke. So please, hopefully we don't have to mute you in the chat for that. We'll go back to the 4th battle. Yes, Gaseo is Miguel, if I remember correctly. My alien memory might prove put me on the potential embarrassment, but if I remember correctly, Miguel is Gaseo. Okay, let's look at Campon in the T100 LT. Looking to spot the tanks of Nomad. But Cassia is spotted. And Campon will put a shot, but it's a bounce. Gets himself spotted in the end. However, that would not give Team ID the lead. Oh, Campun takes a shot. Hit points are still in favor of Nomad, but they're in trouble. I don't know why I'm saying that, but ID will go for C, meaning Nomad might have to make a rotation. Unless Nomad are able to get A more quickly, which I don't think they're able to. Nomad will find no one near the southwestern corner. They also do not have the light tank to do the spotting, so they don't really know where most of ID tanks are at the moment. They know there are some on C, maybe some near B, but do they know there are literally no one near A? I think now they probably know. With Mako now going quite aggressive in the T1 to E5. He will spot Hinter, but he will not spot Campon. But can he spot Corielica? Hinter is spotted, Mako is spotted. But ID will just stay safe and just hide, not do much. Because Nomad is a team that needs to do the rotation, not Team ID. Although Team ID can surprise Nomad with a counter push on A, that could happen. That could happen. I could sense that happening if ID have bled enough of Nomad near A. Although they might lose map control, but we'll see. Mako has taken some hits, and the hit points are still with Nomad at the moment. So Nomad have to bleed a little bit more of ID in order to facilitate a push, but they can't do so at the moment. But will Nomad try to make a push onto C? They have to actually make some gamble because they don't have a light tank to get the spots for them, so that's an issue. But if they push onto C, they will have to meet a lot of tanks over there. And Coco is now isolated. But maybe he's not quite isolated. I can't push any more forward. They will get caught in a crossfire. Oh, but Legolira takes a hit. And Campon will try to drive away. Will he try to get more spots for Team ID? He's still playing this one very defensively. Hinter still playing carefully in this area. They are aware that they don't have to hit one pool lead. Oh, but it's a trade, and Hinter does more damage than Mako. Can he put another one onto Mako? Not yet. Probably not now because TDR is coming in to put a shot onto Hinter, which TDR cannot put a shot at the moment because Hinter is back to safety. Mako tries to put one onto either Polrieka and Campon. Oh, Polrieka is spotted. But Nomad stole B. Without me noting this one earlier. So ID now has to make a push, not Nomad. And ID is under huge hit point disadvantage, and I think Nomad might have the advantage here. Hinter is now in deep trouble, and Polrielica is also very, very low. We will lose the first tank of Polrielica. Campbell sniping from behind. ID, can they get isolated tanks out quickly? Kazuya puts a good shot to Legolira, but ID would find it very difficult to take the tank sets. Nomad still has speed, so I think they just have to kill a couple more tanks out and they will have the fifth battle. Legolira is out of the fight. And Coco is still pretty much doing 1v2, but he can hold on long here. With Hinter down, this is going to bring the scoreline to a 3-2. Well done to Nomad. This is a lot better from them. They've stolen B while ID are defending. I think ID were caught daydreaming there. They should have done something for that push, but they weren't doing much. And ID have lost too many hit points when they are trying to respond to that. Nomad are already in good positions. So Nomad, great job to them. 3 tanks doing more than 2k, and ID really needs to be a bit more aware of that. They couldn't allow Nomad to get B that easily. They were sitting on an advantage. They shouldn't be able to lose that. And now we're going back to Winter Mindovka, and it's now a 3-2. Okay, let's see. Nomad, we are seeing double 6 TPs by X4 and Coldcore, Spectre, Strift K, double I7, TDR, and Mako by No Sense, Movement 3, and Casilla in the mouse. ID, on the other hand, triple Strift Ks by Hinter, Licolera, and Spartan's Sword. Polarica in mouse, LDS, and the S4 Frozen in the MLE and Camp1 in the T100 LT. We'll go back to Winter Minovka 30 more seconds to go. Let's see where they're going to, which side they're committing this time. Round. Let's follow both teams. Okay, this time, Winter Minovka. Nomad from the south side. And from the north side, ID from the south.
Let's get this show on the road.
Let's see. ID will put most of the tanks over to A, with Nomad red team looking to put tanks over to B and C. But Campbell will go for A first at the beginning, and Campbell spotted Mako, which is good. This is a good spot. But they don't know most of the Nomad tanks are going for B and C, but Nomad going for B right at the beginning. But ID have essentially no one to reset B. I think Polarica will be too slow to reset this base, and Frozen would not be there too. Oh, ID in the bay for Captain's advantage. They will have to find a way to rotate, and this is going to be really tough. I don't know how they can pull it off. How can they do so? Maybe they could. They just have to bleed a lot better. Oh, Coco is trying to get out of this, but this is the problem of game B. Is that getting out of B is going to be difficult. Coco down to 1,000 hit points. Exactly. Koreanica loses some hit points, and so does Hinter. But ID have made a good start, although not enough just yet. But we'll not try to kill Koreanica. LDS loses some hit points as well. But I think ID have found Mako isolated. They are going to ignore Casilla totally. And Norma has made a move to shut down Polarica. Polarica has to stay safe as long as he could. And Frozen will rotate away and tries to get some shots onto X4. Maybe just keep X4 at bay. Mako is dead, which is good. Great kill. Great first kill from TYD. Great push there. Polarica is still alive. But it's a bounce from TDR to Polarica. Polarica receives a big one though. But now the focus will be on Spectre, I suppose. But they're going to send not everyone to Spectre, but a couple to take out Casilla, which is a good idea because you don't want to send like 5 tanks over to one single tank alone. So I love what Licolera and Frozen are doing, trying to keep Casilla in the line of fire from different angles. Casilla is now dead, which means ID can take out Spectre and brings them to a 7 versus 4 situation. Polarica is still alive, and that's the purpose of a mouse right there. Great kill onto TDR from Polarica, and I think that seals the deal for Team ID. X4 is killed. Frozen gets speed, and Polarica is dead finally. But look at how many tanks Nomad have lost to take out that mouse. And this is why a lot of people say don't focus the mouse. Exactly, this is what ID wants them to do. They want to have enough time to take out tanks of Nomad that are isolated on different positions. Some more questions will be asked why Nomad have put a couple of tanks that are isolated near the spawn. And ID Polarica has done what he could to slow down the push of Nomad, and Nomad are unable to win this battle. And Nomad, ID great push, great focus fire. This battle, it's more like that sends them to the lower bracket final, and they will find which clan to meet tomorrow. Well done. 4 tanks doing more than 2k for Team ID. Porianica down, but 3.3k damage. How much damage he has done today? I mean, the mouse, Winter by Novka alone. 3.3k, that's quite an achievement. And Nomad, I mean, this is their first time in the top 4, so you should give them some credits for making this far. But honestly, they have a lot to improve in the next couple of seasons. I hope they do make those improvements, because there is a lot that they need to improve on. I mean, the tactical acumen is, it's not as good as the other 3 teams. I think this comes with experience, so this is why you shouldn't all be critical to Nomad. I mean, at the end of the day, Nomad are still a pretty new team to the Clan War scene, and I think what they need now is words of encouragement rather than words of humiliation. And I hope Nomad will be stronger next season. But one thing for sure, they will bow out of this tournament with a lot of areas that they need to improve on. Back to the drawing board. I'm sure they will be happy about the 4th place. This is their best placing in one single season, and they have a lot that they could improve on. And I hope that they will take the advice, watch back the streams, and find ways to improve their playstyle, because there's so much that they could do better in the last few battles. I really hope that they can improve dramatically after that, because I know they could. They are also one of the most hardworking teams. They have been training a lot, but yeah, I mean, tonight they've been humbled, but I'm sure their attitude is something that I appreciate, and I hope this results, and perhaps the chat that's happening here tonight will not dissuade them to perform better. I know they can do good. They need to keep their heads up high. Tonight might not be their night, but yes. Hope they will come. I hope they will take a lot of positives away from this. I have a lot of hopes, a lot of faith in them in the coming seasons to go. Just hope that they will prove the doubters wrong. But yeah, let's see. Right. Alright, so okay, so now ID will be in the lower bracket final. GB versus Risk. We will be following that tomorrow. Up first, and then the loser of that against Team ID. You will see. I don't know if there is an announcement regarding the fan container. What it's it might be in the news actually. Okay, so we still have some time. I'm going to analyze the battle. Let's see. What battle can I go for? Nomad versus well, I think Nomad needs some support, and also they definitely want some analysis to some of their defeats. So let's actually analyze some of their defeats. Which defeat we should go for? I think I think Oasis Palms. I think there is something that let's actually analyze the first one. I think is Nomad could have won the first battle, and I believe they came very close there. So let's analyze that battle. I'm just gonna see. Oh come on, the bracket's out. The bracket is not here. Okay, good. All right. Let's analyze this first. Battle of Oasis Palms. Nomad versus ID. I think there is a lot of chance for Nomad to come back, but to win, I think. But we'll see how they can win this one. I mean, my focus now is to help Nomad to become a better team. So let's do this analysis. Tanks of Nomad can quickly rotate and support the team. So Oasis Farms, as you all know, it's quite an open map. But if you have, but AB is a bit close, and those caps are quite close to one another. So it's not a rare sight if you don't see a light tank. But for the love of God, for the love of God, and for me personally, a light tank is crucial on Oasis Farms. Some clans on the EU server would tell me otherwise. That it's not important to take a light tank, but sometimes you do see like three mediums or lights on Oasis Pops. For me, light tank is essential, getting the spots and information, because if you don't have a light tank, you're going to suffer a lot when you don't have the hit point, the hat point advantage. You don't know where those tanks will be positioned. I think this is just one side of the argument. Maybe some other clans on the EU server could tell me why it's okay to drop that light tank. Maybe in favor of the hit points. But if you lose your hit points, then doesn't even I mean, if you lose your hit points, then it doesn't. It's like the takeaway from this, like not the takeaway. It's like the rebuttal to this, and also. Usually the team with lower HP will have higher DPM, because higher DPM tanks usually have lower hit points. So you can also argue this way. Let's see. What will ID do here? They do not have the cap lead, but they do have the map control potentially with the camper getting all those important spots. X4 takes another hit. I think he should not leave where he is. That position should... Okay, so he should not be taking so many hits there. I think this position is very tough, especially the IS-7. IS-7 is a pike nose, so if you angle your tank slightly, this is kind of the reason why it's very hard to side straight in an IS-7. Angle slightly your tank and pull out. When you show your pike nose, when you show your slanted armor, it becomes like it's not slanted anymore. It becomes like an easy pan. So that IS-7 is very difficult to cover up your pike nose. This is like one of the main issues of the IS-7. And remember, tournaments, people do spam go at times if they can't penetrate your frontal armor. So yeah, so X4 has to, well, is that spot essentially could only give him some spots, but he would not be very useful there. So I personally would not recommend a tank, and he is going to be the bait for the push. But other than that, other than being as a bait for the push, it doesn't really give a lot of use except for spotting near the ID spawn, which is definitely not going to not going to have a lot of not a lot of tanks will stay near its spawn anyway. So let's see what's going to happen next. Should be safe from any crossfire from ID. So with Nomad, not really able to push from anywhere. But anyway, Nomad, this is somewhat of a spread lineup, to be honest with you. So they are prone to a push, but they are also, if ID pushes here, they will have tanks for crossfire. So it comes with a risk for the push. It comes with a risk. So you have their tanks there. These two tanks will be out of the way, and then these tanks will not be in the line of fire. Well, actually, maybe it's not going to help them with the crossfire. But then they don't know ID have a lot of tanks near the desert side, so they're going to make this kind of gamble that they don't need everyone to stay there to receive a push coming from the desert side. So they're going to send tanks near A and B to prevent ID from getting A and B. I think this is their main purpose in there. So let's continue to see what they're going to do. 3 tanks in the desert side. 4 tanks of ID near C. Hinter trying to get some spots on A, but not any tanks being spotted. ID not really connected with one another at the moment, but things can change. Well, we're going to see a big push coming from I. Yeah, you can see very soon X4 will drop some hit points, and Campen will be in a good position to just use scope. Yeah, another good shot. You can see good shot there. X4 has to stop. Fresh lemonade will not be able to get a shot. Out of where he is. Okay, so in this situation, both teams do not have the cap lead, so either team will have to rotate anyway. They don't want to use up all 7 minutes. So Nomad, if they want to be at the advantage in the push, they shouldn't lose too many hit points, but at the moment they are losing some hit points. But I digress. This is not like the most important thing. Oh, Capo takes a hit. Has to stay covered for now. And I think ID just have to be a bit more patient. I think they could still put a couple of more shots in. Yeah, you can see how difficult for X-Force to operate near this position. That pike nose is an issue. That pike nose is an issue. Things would not be the same if it's, for example, 60 TP. I think it will be a lot harder to penetrate, especially camp in the light tank. Even with gold, that 60 TP would be a bit difficult to penetrate. Now Nomad's trying to go for A, and maybe they go for B as well. And now Fresh Lemonade is now committing his tank over to... Okay, I love what Nomad is doing here, trying to get a cap lead on B. But I'm afraid Fresh Lemonade might have this time to push onto X4. Should not just go like head on with X4, because as you know, Kazuya and Kokuwa can take down Fresh Lemonade quite quickly, so I won't do that. Could just stay near the rock to kind of stay in the back, kind of absorb some damage and doing his best to prevent shots coming from Kazuya and Kokuwa. X4, but he will be met with resistance. Kazuya is there to put crossfire in. So I mean, Fresh Lemonade, essentially there's cap behind you. Just stay in the back. Just stay behind that rock as X4 did. And you won't be shot by Kazuya at all. That could essentially mean ID will have a tank up. So I think Norbert will have to rethink about putting an IS-7 in this situation. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. But X was now down to one shot. Kazuya may be able to put one shot or two. Good shot from Kazuya, and maybe able to put another shot in. It's a bounce, sadly. Fresh Lemonade gets a kill, and X4 is down. And Fresh Lemonade gets 2 bounces. Oh, a big shot coming from Kokuwa. So even if Nomad loses X4, ID will lose Fresh Lemonade, so the hit points will now be even. So things, we're going back to where we started, except Nomad getting both A and B. Fresh Lemonade is not enough to kill. Fresh Lemonade but will be enough. But ID have made a bold call to push, but only Florianico is pushing. Where is the rest of the team of ID at the back? And that will allow Nomad to try and take out Florianico quickly here, and this is not going to be good news there. Put him to a one-shot. Florianico bounces onto Mako, and Brash Dominate is now 6v6. And ID do not have the hit point pool advantage, and now Nomad is going to push. Okay, this is a good move from Nomad to push onto Hinter. It's 2 versus 1. Campo can't do much in this situation. But this is definitely going to be a tank that they need to take out. Onto Hinter, and Hinter is now in deep trouble. ID has to be quick and killing the tanks near the desert side, and it's all down to the shot efficiency here. The focus is now onto TDR. The Hinter is going to retreat, and the hit was but for some reason, I think Nomad got a bit confused. There's a tank near me that suddenly does not link up with the other tank to take out Hinter. And he is in a really interesting position. He can't really crossfire essentially, so he should consider pushing on and take out Hinter as soon as they could. But ID has made a good idea to take out the Super Conquerors there. Questions will be asked why Spectre not linking up with these tanks, allowing ID to focus fire quite easily. And there is also a tank sniping from behind. If I were them, I would just go link up, try to share hit points with the rest of the team. Essentially what it means that ID, they have 2 tanks that could be easily focused. And Frozen could also link up with Camp and try to take out Spectre after TDR is taken out. So in terms of calling for focus fire, ID is in a much better position than Nomad. And the issue with Nomad is they are not together at all. And it seems there is some distraction going on with this player here. Still in favor of Nomad, but the focus fire, I think ID has the lead. Hinter is dead. TDR is dead. Focus is now on the... Yeah, those buildings going to make it difficult for Kazuya and the Crown Wagon to focus as well. Because he should have just gone in and support the team and share some hit points. Florianico is trying to put a shot onto Spectre. Camper now very, very low. Good shot onto Spectre, but can he survive? It's Frozen. Good shot onto Spectre, and Camper will get a kill. Mako dead. It's now 3 versus 5. However, so I mean, look at how quickly ID killed those 3 tanks near the desert side. No, 2 tanks near the desert side. That brings the fight to a 3 versus 5, although they still don't have a cap lead, which is going to be crucial. But the hit point pool is going to be really, it's going to be important. And now at this point, it's still not a lost cause for Nomad. The Crown Wagon still have a lot of hit points, so they just have to hope that ID will hesitate. But there is still Spartan Sword with a lot of hit points, and I like what ID is going to do there. They communicated really well with the hit points. Spartan Sword coming with Florianico to take down a tank 2v1. They're just forcing everything to a 2v1 situation. And Nomad, in this situation, what they could do, they will have to try to, Mino Sense might have to relocate. Although it might have shots in the crossing tanks, but Kazuya and Kokwa could be taken out very quickly if ID could communicate that well. So I think Mino Sense after shooting all of the remaining shots there, he should consider coming in to reinforce Kazuya. ID have lost both A and B. Now Nomad just have to survive with the 3 tanks. Mino Sense is still really healthy. Good shot onto Florianico. Florianico now have to hold down in this slope here. Now Spartan's Sword tries to draw 1v1 against Kazuya. Okay, so I think this is the issue. Coco is still trying to crossfire. Issue is he's allowing Kazuya to 1v1 against Spartan Sword, which he's definitely going to lose because he does not have the DPM to do so. And there is also probably another tank of, I think, what was it? No, not Counterpoint. Another tank which could put this to a 2v1. Yeah, but Nomad will try and fight. This is a bad move from Mino Sense going down. ditch, meaning Nomad displaying 2v5 over this area should not have done that. They still have 2 caps. They don't need C. They don't need C. Well, maybe this is the idea is to get Frozen and also the other tanks out, but Frozen can just easily rotate after the fight. I think their main objective is to save the 2 and hold on to both A and B. Florienica here, good shot to Frozen, and Campbell will get C. I think ID is trying to do what they could, but do they have too few hit points to win? Oh yeah, look at this. Really good stuff from ID. Their Campen staying behind to get crossfire in, Spartan Sword. Tracking the Krabwagen as much as he could. And also doing really well in the 1v1 fight. I think 2v5 here. The chances are running quite low. My no sense going into the desert alone against tanks that have a lot of mobility. But they could afford to lose Frozen because they still have 4 tanks alive, but Spartans still have healthy. But yeah, I think Nomad, Minor Ascensional have dropped down there. Oh, good shot onto Kasu, great track shot. And that brings the fight to a 5-2. However, ID aren't able to get C, and there is still a lifeline for Nomad here to get the win. But Kokoa is now down to 1 shot, and Kokoa put... Okay, this is some good communication from ID on to Kokoa. This is going to be big. 2 1-shots. Kokoa, did he miss? Get the win. But no, he did not miss. He did not miss. Actually, he puts a good shot onto Spartan Sword, but it's not enough to kill Spartan Sword. I think that might have been a low row. Kokoa is now down to 1 shot, and Kokoa puts a big shot. Oh, Spartan Sword bounces. Florienica gets the kill. Is now, but it's going to be over. That Krabwagen does not have enough mobility to deal with that, and ID just have to capture AB. Nomad just completely lost AB, and I think what we can the main takeaway is Nomad should have focused mainly on retaining A and B, and they would have that win, to be honest with you. And the team just isn't really playing together at times. They just have tanks at different positions, which allowed ID to focus far quite easily. And even if that happens in the mid-game stage, it's still not lost cause for Nomad yet. All they need to do is to have those 3 tanks alive and to shut down the low hit point pool targets of ID, which they only managed to kill Frozen, and just only 1 tank, and they lost already 2 near B, which is not something that they want to happen. And definitely my nose should not go to the desert side. You are not going to win that side with that mobility and DPM. And look how agile ID is. The communication from ID is on point at that point. It was a tough one for ID, and they deserve to win this one. I think ID Nomad just have to coordinate a little bit better. Again, the lack of experience probably shows here. But there are lots of opportunities for them to rectify their mistakes, or maybe a lot of rectify their mistakes to make it a lot closer and perhaps win this battle outright. Alright, so that's pretty much my analysis for this battle. I believe we have... I believe the timer has stopped. I'm just going to double check very quickly. Timer has... Yes, has stopped. Should have stopped now. So you should not be able to gain any more rewards. And that's going to be me for tonight on the APAC server. Tomorrow I'll be following the upper bracket and lower bracket first round. See you there. See you tomorrow. And bye everyone.